Good morning. Thank you so much to Rolando and Lakai for doing that 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. in States time for us. Um, for those who don't know me, my name is Sir Bryan Ellicott. My pronouns are he and they, and I live in New York City. I am a dedicate to the Correllian tradition. I am a paladin. I co-head the Order of the Rainbow Tent. Which is an LGBTQ order that I am happily to work with. And this morning, let's just start off by checking out our donation ticker. Thank you to everyone so far who helped this $915 come to life. We are so thankful to those 23 supporters. So for the next 2 hours, we will be obviously drinking our coffee. Cheers, everyone. And just hanging out and having a good time. So please feel free to send me messages in the chat to ask me questions. I am here for the next 2 hours. And while people get warmed up with me, let's check out our auction items as well. I am heading up the auction and our divination alley for this next, well, less than 50 hours now, thankfully. Those readings by the first priest, the most Reverend Phoenix Coffin Williams, are still available. Those wonderful creative coaching sessions by Cloud the Pagan Rapper Rich are available. We have some fabulous art and jewelry. If you got some time to hang out with Apu Adman and Lakai, they're having readings available as well, as am I. We have 2 fabulous readings available from our Tennessee reader and well-known author, Papa G. We have some readings by our internet sensation, Ravenwolf Greenfield, and then there's some other items, some lovely books that have been published by our first priestess and chancellor, Stephanie Neal, Lady Stephanie Neal. Some candles and a limited edition copy of Rev Don's Super Omnibus of magical incantations and invocations for all occasions. Oh, that's a mouthful, sir. Longest book title I've ever read out loud. So yeah, with that, please feel free to say good morning to me. Let me know what's going on. If you can't see me, someone please let me know from my team that everything is good to go. Thank you so much. See, I am. So for the next 2 hours, I am happy to talk about everything and everything. And for the next 2 hours, I'm also going to talk a little bit about why I'm really excited to go to the Parliament of World Religions. I brought that up, hinted at it a bit yesterday with the first priest, Phoenix, and with General Liz. And I am very excited to be at such a pinnacle time talking about human rights for a various number of reasons. It is no shock or no secret that I am an out, open, and proud trans person. I'm transmasculine, non-binary. I have been living a very out life for over 10 years. I spent a lot of my time in activism, advocating for marriage equality here in the States, trans rights across the states, including New York State. Good morning, Jared. Thank you so much for joining me for coffee. And I spend my days now when not volunteering my services to the Correllian tradition that I love so much. I am a LGBT program manager for a veterans program for older adults. So I spend a lot of my time of service both to my community, to the pagan community, and abroad. Please feel free to help me navigate these next 2 hours by talking to me in the chat. Or if you would like to join me, I'm going to be inviting some friends shortly. Let's see. So basically, coffee time is important to me. As I've learned, it is important to many Correllians across our tradition. Feel free to drop in the comments what you're drinking this morning. I have chocolate caramel dark brew, cold brew with some creamer in it. My go-to favorite these days. And while we see if anybody will be joining us, I am going to play us a little clip.
You're watching the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon. The team here would like to thank you for all of your support in assisting us in bringing a contingent of paladins to the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago, Illinois, August of this year. We are trying to raise $10,000 to assist with the basic needs of housing, food, and travel expenses. Here are some words from the members of the event team on why it is important that we reach that goal.
I'm Sir Bryan John Ellicott, member of the Sacred Order of Paladins, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk to you about the Road to Parliament 2023 Correllians Live Telethon. 50 hours of magic and community. We are here to ask for your help as we send a contingent to Parliament of World Religions in Chicago, Illinois, this August in 2023. We're going to give voice to you, to our community, during these next 50 plus hours to help raise our goal of $10,000 so that we can supply housing and food for the Correllian nativist tradition members who are going to Parliament this year. And we humbly ask that you continue to donate and bid on our auction, get tarot readings and other divinational readings from our readers over in Divination Alley. And I again want to thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you about the Paladins and why our telethon participation, your telethon participation is vitally important to our participation in Parliament in Chicago this August. Our attendance is vitally important. Now more than ever, we see the need for our freedoms and human rights to be defended and preserved. And as pagans, we deserve a seat at the table for those conversations. And the best way you can do to help us is to donate, bid on auction items, and get divination readings. I am offering readings this weekend over in Divination Alley. The link is below. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
One of the best things about Parliament is one of the best things that we need in our society, which is unity, compassion, and fellowship, which is something I'm extremely looking forward to. And I hope that this will be inspiration for the future in helping us to be more as one in a community. So join us, continue to join us. Thank you for sharing and liking our posts, and please continue to sponsor us.
Hi, I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and I am a member of the Sacred Order of the Paladins. Why are we going to the 2023 Parliament of World's Religions? Because representation matters. It's important that pagans be there to show that we are a growing tradition, that we are a viable religion, and we need to take our seat among other world religions.
Hello, everybody. I am Reverend Sir Richard Donahue, also known as Cloud the Pagan Rapper, and I am a member of the Order of Paladins. Now, to help us send a contingent to the Parliament of World Religions, to me, means one thing: community. It's the idea of coming together with multiple faiths for common goals. And it is paramount for the pagan community to have a seat at that table. And I, for one, am very, very proud that we are afforded this opportunity to do so. But to do that, we do need your help. We're trying to raise $10,000 so that we can feed and house the contingency of paladins that will be going to the Parliament. And it's through your help that we're going to be able to get there and represent the community in the best possible way that we can. So please, smash that donate button. All right? Smash that donate button. You can go to Correllians.live to donate. And I want to thank you guys for taking part in the telethon, okay? Check out our auction. Get yourself a reading from Divinationality. Do all of the things that we have provided for you throughout these 3 days, and let us come together in community and achieve our goal and allow us paladins to go and represent us at Parliament. Thank you very much. May you all blessed be. From all of us here at the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon, we want to thank you again for your support. Please be sure to check out Divination Alley and get yourself a reading. Or check out our online auction that is overflowing with wonderful craft items, books, and services for sale. Remember, our goal is to raise $10,000, so please help us spread the word about the event, our cause, and be sure to stay tuned for more. So thank you all again, and may you all blessed be. Enjoy.
All right, and we're back. So we had our brief donation break early up, so we could start smashing those early day goals. And I'm going to bring on Reverend RG.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
And I'm going to bring on Miss Julie, our house mother.
Yes.
I think she's just here audibly, so but that's okay. So, how are you this morning?
I'm good. I have coffee. Life is good.
Life is always good. All right, cheers.
Nostrova.
So, what would you like to talk about this morning? We have 2 hours. Well, less than 2 hours now, thankfully.
Well, yeah, there's so far from what I've heard, everything's going brilliantly. Welcome to the telethon. Just to reinforce, donate. It's for a good cause. Not only is the Parliament's here in my hometown, but your donation is going to help change the course of paganism as a whole, especially with the Parliament. So this weekend, as much as it is about us and it's about the Paladins, about everything, it's also about you as a community. So before we even get started, I encourage everyone, if you haven't yet, really donate. That this is a unique cause. If you've never been to the Parliament, go to the Parliament. It's one of those life-changing things, and so your donation is going to change the course of religion as we know it in a bigger scene. Never before has there been such a big pagan sort of turnout at the Parliament. So the long and the short of it is your donation will change the course of our history, not just the tradition, but moving forwards, especially with gender, especially with everything. That there's a lot behind the scenes that we are donating to change the course of everything. So that was my shameless plug.
Good morning, Ebony.
Good morning, Ebony. How are you?
So, divination is your game. It is what you do. It is often what you stream about. Feel free to plug your readings at the Divination Alley now, RG. Go for it.
Yes, I will be doing readings right the way through this weekend. You can check me out in Divination Alley. We also have got a lot. We've got some really great readers this weekend, but I specialize in past life regression, oracle, and general reading. So if you've ever wanted a reading done by me, this is your weekend. And all of the proceeds that I am making this weekend are going straight to the Parliament, straight to our donations. So come get a reading. If you want to have a past life regression tarot style reading, bring it on. If you want to have a general reading, let's do this. Spend some time this weekend, get your readings done. I find that people are a little bit apprehensive at first of sitting down with a tarot reader, but really there's nothing to be worried about. If you wanted to find out the answers of what's coming up next, that's what we specialize in. And I think over the course of the weekend, being that it's kind of on that verge between spring and some of the energy right now, it is kicking it into high gear. So it's a really good time to get a reading done. Please check the readings, you guys. Yes, I have been doing reading for a very long time. I really specialize these days in oracle style readings, especially here on Facebook and other streaming platforms. But generally, come get a reading done. We got some great readers. We really do.
I mean, what's a good reason to put your 60 plus decks to use other than to get a reading from me?
And talking about decks, who knows what you might find over on our auctions and everything. You never know. You could find anything that you could possibly want, including decks. The auction is open. The link is on the screen right now. Go check it out.
Actually, I don't think we are auctioning any decks. I should have thought of that. What a shame. But that's okay. I own several.
Yes.
So, how it be 1 hour backwards? You're behind me 1 hour, RG.
Yeah, I'm behind you. Boy, that sounded. Yes, I am behind you by 1 hour. Almost sounds like a bad date gone wrong, but I am behind you. I'm in Central. I kind of love it here, and we're getting ready to have Lord Don move back up to Danville, which is really close by. So, kind of the energy here in Chicago is already picking up. It's as if they know that something big is gonna happen.
Never been to the state of Illinois. August will be my first time, so I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Oh, you're gonna love it. Like we have, I always make fun of it on on the different channels that I stream on. We were doing this last night. We were talking about. I don't know how we got onto the topic, but we were talking about Indian scammers, and I went, "Yeah, all you have to do is come to Chicago. We got the mafia. I mean, that beats the Indian scammers right there." And it is true. Chicago's history is very unique, but when you're in the environment, it's just awesome. It really is.
So, what are you most looking forward to at Parliament?
What am I looking forward to? I'm actually looking forward to the discourse. I'm looking forward to kind of reconnecting the bridges that were created a couple of years ago. So it's all about kind of reconnection with everyone. I'm looking forward to promoting and to see paganism and the Correllian tradition finally kind of get its seating, if you want to call it that. So I'm kind of looking forward to what is going to come next for the next 5, 10, 15 years of the world's religions. What are the real talking points, right, as compared to what the media think the talking points are? Because there's two different things. When it comes to the world's religions, the media doesn't really ever properly report it. The thing with the parliaments is we're going to know what's coming up. we're going to be talking about what's coming up, whether it's gender issues, whether it's about global awareness of diversity within religions, and of course the diverse religions themselves. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of looking forward to the discussions. I'm looking forward to the people. I'm most definitely looking forward to seeing what we as a tradition will bring moving forward, how we're going to help shape not just this year, but next year, the year after that, and how we're going to grow now that we're on the center stage.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to, at least here in New York City, when people think like interfaith and clergyship, they think the major book religions of the world. I have some great friends who are rabbis and imams and pastors and priests and all that, but they always seem to leave out a few things. My favorite thing was seeing a Buddhist meditation before a proceeding of the New York City Council, which was a little different, and some people didn't know what to do. They didn't know whether to like sit, stand. It was a very confusing time for them because they had never done a meditation. It was always just some sort of like prayer of some major book religion, so they knew the etiquette for standing and like closing your eyes and bowing your head. But for the meditation, they were like, "Oh, you mean I could sit down? I don't have to stand up for this part?" So it was an interesting time for sure. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all world religions sort of assimilate and hang out together and what that looks like.
Yes, it's definitely a very unique experience, and it changes your it changes everyone's perception who's there. People come in with certain perceptions of what, like, what does a rabbi look like? What is it? What does a Catholic look like? Right? What are the robes? And then they go to the parliament, and then their whole impression about religion's changed. It's a night and day change that's instant. It's, oh, so that's what you guys are doing. And you see it in people's eyes. They have that aha moment. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And if you want to check out a website for what we're talking about, I dropped it right down there.
Right.
So, what are your plans for this weekend? While we're doing this live stream, are you going to be watching most of the time, checking out the music block? What's your plan?
My plan is to do as many readings as possible. I'll be checking out everything. So I'm going to be hovering around. So definitely doing readings. I'll be hovering around, helping out where I can. We got music weekend coming up. We got Ebony Nash. We got Cloud coming in. It's going to be a great party. Definitely, when we look at pagan music, I think people don't give it the credit that they should give it. It's very inspirational when you guys hear artists like we have here at the tradition, when you hear Ebony, when you hear Cloud. It's not just educational, but yes, it's entertainment, but it's much more than that. These are the real voices, right? There's nothing engineered. There's nothing kind of like pseudo political and all of that. And let's market Nike or other brands. We're real people. They're real people. Everyone's a real people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the music. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing the other readers. I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone watching interacts with all of the hosts, with the different programming. I think that's going to be good. I'm really interested to see how the auction goes. And most importantly, checking out this coffee time, which is kind of cool. Get to start the day the right way with us being us. Like a lot of times when you do streams, and I was talking about this about a week ago, and we had a couple of brand new streamers who are like, well, aren't you YouTubers meant to be all scripted? And I'm like, I haven't used a script in 12 years. I'm not going to use one now. But yeah, it's true. Sometimes when you watch streams, everything's scripted. With us as pagans, we don't do that. So it could be swearing. It could be off the wall jokes. It's the unpredictable part of it. And I think that's kind of the cool thing to watch, is just we are who we are. And so this weekend, I'm looking forward to that. I'm just looking forward to that kind of real entertainment, like real coming together. I think that's going to be awesome.
We have a question in the chat. Woohoo! What was your first ever tarot deck you ever used? All right. I love questions like that. My first deck, believe it or not, was the Toth. Why start basic when you could throw yourself off the deep end and go head first? That's how Bryan rolls. But yeah, so that was my first deck. And the person whose house I was in, that was their words exactly to my parents. With other pronouns, but basically it was like, oh, they took the hard route first. Okay, well, you should watch that one. And apparently in more ways than one. Exactly, Ebony. Yeah, starting light. That is exactly what happened. Yeah.
He went easy mode.
Yeah. To the person who can't play video games past easy mode, apparently that was the one time my brain was like, oh, super hard death mode? Let's do that.
I have to be honest, my first deck was the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. That's how I was I learned the very oldie English way, which was use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck because you can't go wrong with it. Then I moved to the to Crow's Magic deck. But I'll say it's true, the Rider-Waite deck is very good at teaching because it makes you think. The artwork is also really awesome. It's one of the original decks, meaning it has a lineage attached to it. But yeah, that was my first. I got it here somewhere. It's when we moved, I still got boxes and boxes I haven't gone through. So it's in one of those boxes. It's probably in the last place I would expect of it. But yeah, Rider-Waite Tarot deck. I used that for about 15 years. And it was my favorite deck. It just, even holding it, looking at the artwork, reading the accompaniment book. Now, usually I cheat because I never read the accompaniment book, but there's something with that deck that kind of draws you to the messages itself. Now, you could memorize the messages if you want, but with me, now I just looked at the book. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
I mean, for me, I did learn the symbolisms from the book, and then once I did symbolism, I kind of was like, all right, let's just see what happens, and I went from there. Fun fact, since 2016, I have pulled a card a day every day, so that is almost 7 years. Sure. But I've studied tarot since I was 13. I took a break for a little while. New York City sun is trying to mess with my stream. But yeah, so, and then during the pandemic, when we were home and there wasn't, much to do because pandemic, I started my business, Queer Justice Tarot, which, it's a cool name in and of itself. So if you could guess, my favorite card in the tarot is Justice. Equality, fairness. Oh, wait, we're talking about human rights. Look at that. So, do you have a favorite card of any of whether it be tarot or oracle that really speaks to you that you would consider RG in a card?
Actually, yeah, mine would be Awakening. That comes to us from the Oracle deck, but it represents this moment, this kind of aha moment where you finally get it, where that voice inside you is gonna really take over. And I think I did this on stream a couple of days ago, but Awakening is a very strong card because we all go through it in life. Everyone does. It's that moment where you finally trust that voice inside you, that you know that you're right. And it goes back into this idea of justice as well, social and all of this. It's this point where your perspective is right, where you're aware of the situations around you. So yeah, that happens to be my favorite card. strangely enough, since the age of Aquarius began, that card has been pulled so many times. It's not even funny, because I find that a lot of people that come to readings or do e-readings, that's the card that they're attracted to, because now they get it. Now it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's why I'm feeling this, right? We have men and women who are shifting in mentalities because they get it, right? That final that moment where it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that's my favorite card.
I recently had picked up the Animal Spirit cards by Kim Krantz. And this week, so I pull an animal oracle, an ancestor from the Correllian tradition. I pull just a major, and then I pull a rune every week. And leading up into the telethon, I got some very interesting stuff, but more importantly, I got the bear. And the bear for me is the bear is my late father's totem animal, specifically. Specifically the grizzly bear. So this depiction of the bear is right on track. And then yeah, so it was that's a really interesting situation for me this week in my cards, which Ebony knows this from my various conversations, both on Facebook and other places in our tradition. Is I am an avid tracker of my tarot, so I keep a bullet journal of. I drew 365 teeny tiny little boxes this year, where I track all of my polls for the year. And the black boxes are just either nights that and this is only PM polls. My AM polls go into this wonderful little program I use called Notion. We are not plugging them officially, but that's where I do all of my tarot data crunching, if you will. So every month I make a pie chart. My divination tracking is somewhat extensive to some people.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
Oh no, I love it. Because at the end of the year, when people do thank you, Ebony. That means a lot. Yeah, I take a lot of pride in my stats. I make pie charts for them. But it also, at the end of the year, when I'm doing my end of year reflections, it helps me to like last year, I had a very balanced year, believe it or not, even though there was some high points. Officially joining the tradition, getting engaged, getting a new job, getting let go from an old job, having a health scare. Believe it or not, all of my polls were sort of balanced. So even with some high points, there was balance in the overall aesthetic of the year.
It's that subjective nature that we always talk about, that way you kind of know the answer, but tarot reinforces it. Gives you a nice kick up the backside as well. I find that with people that they already know it, the cards reinforce it, and then eventually they get it. So there's like 3 phases that people go through when they come to readings. It's like, yeah, they kind of know why they're there, and then the tarot card kind of reinforce it, and then a week later they call you and it's like, yeah, that card that you picked, yeah, it kind of spoke to me, type thing.
I think that was the I'd been reading for myself, personally for a really long time, and then COVID was like, you need to do something or you're gonna
go mad,
lose your mind at some point. So you should do something constructive. How about I start a tarot business? Okay, but what is a trans guy going to read for the general population of society? Like, how's that going to go? But believe it or not, there was a moment where a complete stranger, so I knew the person wasn't lying, and I knew that they weren't, sugarcoating it. I had actually hit it on the head, the reading for this person. Scared the bejesus out of them, scared the bejesus out of myself. More not scared because of what I saw or said. I was more like, oh, I did it. It happened. Okay. That moment of, okay, I can do this. It's not just, someone telling me, oh yeah, I resonate with that. No. It wasn't just resonate. There was a full description of of how accurate it was. And I was like, this person doesn't know me. This person is not trying to boost my ego. Like, it really did help them, and it really did resonate. So that was like oh, okay, go Bryan. Oh, I used the regular system of runes, the gold standard. The only difference is I used the card version from with Lord Don's art on it. So I because I can carry it around. I can't carry. So the reason I don't use like standard rune, bone, or clay style is because I like to carry them around, and it's easier in card form because this goes where I go.
Yeah,
So,
there's no like rules about it. If you do runes, you don't have to carry the sort of stones with you, whatever kind of works. I mean, that's how the system was always designed to be. And when we look at the history of runes, it was really basically the very high ups in the different tribes and in the different communities. It was a very high ups who actually had the stones. Everybody else would be doing it just through discourse because they knew what was, they knew what the signs were. They kind of would be able to describe it to you. And a lot of times, one of the things that I find with people is they come, they're learning runes or tarot, and they expect to have to carry everything with them. And quite honestly, you don't. As long as you are very good at interpreting the signs and interpreting the reading as a whole, you don't need to carry everything with you. You don't need to break the bank. Most of us who do runes here at the tradition, we use the card form. It's just much easier, especially if we're doing it on video, because it's for streamers, it's hard for us when we're streaming to kind of like get everything set up. And so you've got like a table for the runes because you know that they're going to fall on the ground. I mean, it's just a given. So with the card version, one of the things that's a joy of it is we can just hit the cards out. We can give you a rune reading. It's as accurate as doing the thing with using the cards is it's as accurate, if not more accurate, because we see each other face to face. I'm not handing you a rune. I'm not asking you to kind of close your eyes as I cast runes. I'm looking at you. I'm looking through your eyes, and we're doing the reading that way. So it's a lot more. I find a lot more success doing it that way than going the old-fashioned way, especially. And again, people look at runes and they look at bones, and that there's a lot of misconceptions and people's wrong pictures of it. They picture some kind of weird and wonderful elderly lady casting the bones or runes out of a bag, and they get kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? But with cards, the way runes are now, I think people have a better, if not more, appreciation for that they really do, because it's like, wow, that's what the artistry means. That's what speaks to me. 5, 10, maybe a week later, they're calling you going, hey, that rune that you showed me? I've been seeing that rune in dreams, or, like maybe they're on a day like today, you're walking outside, it starts raining, you look down at a puddle, and your mind is going to show you that rune symbol. That's when you know that reading has been taken to heart, and it's much easier than just handing you a rune and saying, hey, yo, this is for you. It's just much easier.
for sure. And I would say for like all divinational forms, I also recently, well, not recently, I would say in the last 2 years, have really been doing a lot of personal work with my chart in a whole sign, because I don't like the maths. I am from America, born and raised, and I am not a math person. I do truly, though, believe if somebody would have put my natal chart in front of me in middle school and said, learn the angles this way, I probably would have understood it more. And I think it's because that America doesn't use art practically or math practically that um you know, that's why it took it literally I only now understand it because I have spent so much time with my chart.
I get it.
But yeah, so I've learned quite a bit about myself, all aspects of myself. And I have a new book, which I love, Planets in the Houses. All of this man's books are what I'm using for my astrology studies, including also the nine books that I acquired from Lord Don's library. So it's very interesting time for me to be acquiring some of those details.
It's a time of learning.
Yep. I think the great thing about paganism, or at least in my opinion, like this trajectory of religion is like there's nothing you just learn and are done with. It's like a continuous process.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. It just, there's one thing and there's not, it's consistent development of the mind and the body, because the more you train the mind, the more you train the body. So what makes paganism so different is in that banner, you have hundreds, if not more, of different religions. So everything is thrown in. I remember that there used to be this awesome dessert that I've seen advertised, like the kitchen sink, and I keep on thinking that's paganism. That there's so much in there. So, here at the tradition, Wicca does take its inspiration as well from things like Shinto, the understanding of connecting to spirit, walking back and forth through Torii gates, understanding how the rules of spirit behave. When we look at things like simple pendulums, right, there's a whole history, a lineage behind them. And the more we learn, the more that lineage becomes available to us, right? So if you picked up a simple pendulum like this, chances are you're going to go back, you're going to learn the history, you're going to learn what the originals were like, how dowsing worked, so the more we reach out and the more we get from books, it makes us want to read, makes us want to explore further, unlike other religions, which is kind of like, yeah, no, the universe was created and yeah, job done. And just trying to make sure
For sure.
I haven't missed any comments. I'm like, where's the comment, please?
I don't think so.
I'm so used to YouTube. Like when I'm on YouTube and we see the comments kind of like really going quickly. With here, it's kind of slower. So I'm like, wait, am I missing? Yes, Ebony, you can use it in card form. It's easier. It really is. But it means the same. That the major arcana is pretty much the same as the Elder Futhark. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. The only differences between them is the Elder Futhark was originally designed as a way to explain how the forces of the elements were shaping everything as compared to the hero's journey. That's the only difference. But when you look at the motifs behind the rest of the Elder Futhark as compared to the major arcana, it's the same. And underneath that, the Elder Futhark covers the subjective nature of human reasoning. So it connects things like, if you're having trouble sleeping or if you're kind of having directional issues, the runes will pick up on that. And that's kind of the major differences. But it's still, yeah, card form is much easier, 100%.
It all is the same symbolism. The thing that I like about card form is, you have, at least for, the deck that was created by Lord Don, is you have the symbolism, which is the pair, and then they give you the wording and the numerology, which is fantastic. So I really enjoy, as a person who is both dyslexic and neurodivergent, having multiple abilities to pick up what the spirit is putting down for me. in all regards. Because sometimes your brain does not pick up on all the cues that spirit is putting down, but there are some symbols that your brain will associate better than others. So I find that extremely helpful and personally.
And good morning to Mary Hawk. Hello. Come over and join us.
Morning, Mary. Mary is helping us with some restream. So
yes, we're putting her to good use. We're making her work.
As my friends in the news business say, first you gotta keep your mouth from going dry while you're on air. All right.
Preferably not with whiskey, though.
Yeah, no. Unless you're Anderson Cooper and it's New Year's Eve.
That was a train wreck. I mean,
I particular. I mean, being a New Yorker, I do, love me some Anderson Cooper. Fun fact, RG, Anderson Cooper and I shared a barber for quite some time.
Nice.
Little strange considering that man has, hair and I do not. But it was a fun like icebreaker question.
Who shared your barber with you, Anderson Cooper? Yes.
Well, I have two famous barber icebreaker stories. I have Anderson Cooper, and then if you've ever watched The Jersey Shore, Vinny's dad works at the Staten Island Mall and is also a barber. So early in my transition, when I was not as bearded and beautiful as I am now, my first real masculine barber was Vinny's dad.
Nice.
So yeah, some New York City fun facts for you.
I'll tell you, one of the weirdest things I've gone through as far as the transition is like going from having to shave every day to wait, where's the hair gone? And that it's just the small things, but it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel different. Like this time last year, I didn't even look like this. So it's kind of, as you transition as well, it's all about that spirituality part of it, becoming more and more aware. And you mentioned this earlier about reading, right? One of the things that we do see in spirituality is, trans community members, we're far more receptive because we have that balance between male and female. So we get it. And so when we do readings, we can pick up on both of the emotions. And I did this for my friend the other day, and they're like, are you sure you're not a guy? And I went, I know what you're feeling, right? That it's kind of like that, because we strike that balance, because we understand that you need both. This is what makes really good readers. And I found that after I started from becoming a woman, I'll tell you, my readings have been far more accurate, because I'm able to see both sides of the coin without judging either. So, okay, so you have masculine traits which are holding you back, and then you've got feminine traits which I'm not using. But when I do readings, I see it, and I see that reaction that people have, and it's like, oh, so that's what's been holding me back. It's like, yeah, my icebreaker, my ultimate icebreaker is, I was one of the third people on YouTube to showcase how to bypass IRCX system operators, and my video got banned after doing it. I was really young at the time, and I was messing around with YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, I could get into this. So I made a channel, and I demonstrated how to get onto the very old chat networks, IRC networks. Within a day later, I had like a really old-fashioned email from Microsoft going, what the hell are you doing? Followed by your band. And I'm like, hey, it's just entertainment. What do you mean? So yeah, that's my icebreaker. Please continue. Yes, donate. Again, I'm going to be really honest with everyone. Your donation isn't just cash for the paladins. It's not what it is. It's to help us house, feed, and look after the contingent here in Chicago. We have a couple of members of the tradition who do live up here, and there's only so much that we can do as hosts and hostesses. So your donation is going to go to our contingent, and it's going to go to providing food, shelter. It's going to go to providing travel costs. Getting everywhere in Chicago is expensive. I wish I was kidding, but it's really not. The only city I've ever lived in the world, well, maybe apart from New York, but just kidding. The only city I've lived in where travel is insane, where parking is insane, is Chicago. So when we're asking you to donate, it's not because we want to get like rich and all of this. No, it's for our contingent. It's so that when we have the contingent ready to go, we know that we've covered everything. We know that who we send up is going to be looked after. They've got a roof over their head. They've got food, travel expenses. So donate. It will change. Your donation will go to changing the course of religion, not just our religion, but everyone involved. So on Correllians Live, Correllians.live/donate. Really, it's for the best possible cause. And I wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't true, because it's part of my brand, right? Be honest. So there we go. Yeah, just donate. That's all we're asking from people, especially if you're having readings, if you're getting involved in the auction. If now's the best time for it. Remember, everything you give to over this weekend is going to boarding, going to food costs. It's amazing in Chicago. Oh boy, in Chicago, food is nuts. It is, and we're looking at a big contingent this year. So
I'm ready. I'm ready for nuts food. RG, Bryan has a personal mission to find that deep dish pizza, so make that happen.
Let's go right now. We have.
I'm a New Yorker. I take my pizza very seriously, so I'm ready for this great debate.
Oh, it's competition time! New York versus Chicago. Let's do this.
So I'm ready for it. RG, in the next hour, if you want to join me, I think we should take a book from Rev Sir Mary Hawk's book and do some card slinging live. What do you think?
Hell yeah!
All right, so we'll start the morning, voguing / card exercises.
You mean like the
little ballroom, little wrist exercises, whatever works for you. All right, so we're going to go take one of those beautiful donation breaks, and we'll be back. Here we go.
Liz can't get in. There's a video for her. Video is not showing.
Yep, we're good.
You're watching the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon. The team here would like to thank you for all of your support in assisting us in bringing a contingent of paladins to the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago, Illinois, August of this year. We are trying to raise $10,000 to assist with the basic needs of housing, food, and travel expenses. Here are some words from the members of the event team on why it is important that we reach that goal.
I'm Pam Kelly. I am a member of the Sacred Order of Paladins, and I am here to tell you about why are we doing a telethon and how you can help us. Well, let me show you. Let me show you what's in the future. This weekend, Friday, 5 p.m. on Eastern Time, all the way till the 7th of May, which is Sunday at 7. We'll be doing 50 hours of magic and community, lots of shows, lots of guests. But what is it all for? Well, I'd love to show you about it rather than just tell you about it. We are planning to go to Chicago, the Parliament of the World's Religions. It's happening this August, and there's going to be leaders from all sorts of faiths there, as well as leaders from both the Correllian tradition. Circle Sanctuary will be there, and it's the place to be. And it's a place for us to be part of the conversation. This year, it's going to be a call to conscience, defending freedom and human rights, something that's very important to the pagan community, and also part of why we're paladins. We want to defend people. We want to protect people, and we want to be there to show a positive part of what we do as pagans. So please help us. This is happening in August, and we're trying to do what we can to raise money. And our biggest part of the campaign is this weekend. It is the road to the Parliament. So like I said, we'll be around all weekend long with lots of entertainment and shows and ways for community. So you're invited to be part of that. But also don't forget to donate if you can. The best way to donate, there's two ways, is to go to Correllians.live/donate. And here are chances for you just to give an amount. And you can give credit to one of our paladins here, or none. Just give it to all of us. We don't get the money, but it makes us feel nice. You know, we don't have a competition going on yet, but who knows? But it'll be friendly, obviously. The other way to do it is givebutter.com. Givebutter.com/C/Correllians Live. And here, not only can you donate, but you can get some more information on why we're doing this. Also, where you can watch this on Pagan World TV, on Roku, Magic TV on YouTube, or streaming live on the web at Correllians.live. And you can share this. This is a good thing too. You can share this link with other people. Not only does it give you the opportunity to donate, but here's where we have the option. We're going to have plenty of items to bid upon, and you can start the bidding on Friday. It's going to be fun. There's all sorts of things. A 15-minute tarot reading with First Priest, Most Reverend Felix Coffin Williams. That's great. All these different readings here. Look at that chainmail pentacle wall hanging. Who would want that? I see a bidding war unrolling, unveiling, becoming a thing this weekend. A numerology chart. You know, I don't know if I should look at this right now. I can't bid yet, but we will be bidding all during the during the event. So please join us and please donate. We really would like to be at the Parliament here, manifesting vibes and support the paladins on our road to the Parliament. Thank you so much for listening and being part of this monumental effort and historical effort. So thank you. Blessings.
Hi, I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and I am a member of the Sacred Order of the Paladins. Why are we going to the 2023 Parliament of World's Religions? Because representation matters. It's important that pagans be there to show that we are a growing tradition, that we are a viable religion, and we need to take our seat among other world religions.
From all of us here at the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon, we want to thank you again for your support. Please be sure to check out Divination Alley and get yourself a reading. Or check out our online auction that is overflowing with wonderful craft items, books, and services for sale. Remember, our goal is to raise $10,000, so please help us spread the word about the event, our cause, and be sure to stay tuned for more. So thank you all again, and may you all blessed be. Enjoy the telethon.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
And we have cards. Dun, dun, dun.
It's a trap. Just kidding.
It's not a trap. It's a gimmick, but it's not a trap. So the way
gimmick.
we're going to do this is I will pull up our nifty little tracker. I feel like Vanna White. This is weird. Ta-da! Boom. If we see donations pop up in real time, which they will, because this little nifty thing is awesome, we will pull cards. We will pull cards anyway. And if you like what we say, or if you don't like what we say, you could donate too. And the donation link is over there. So please feel free to send us your questions, your vibes, your ask for vibes. and we'll do our best to see what Spirit has in store for us. I grabbed my trusty deck in a tin, the Aquarian Tarot, because why not? And I got some other decks laying around, because of course I do.
Using Crow's Magic, which is one of my oldest decks.
Nice. I have one of those decks as well, the Crow Tarot, from a family friend and now ancestor, my Aunt Nancy, believe it or not. It was gifted to me, and one of her other decks in the bag that she made herself. So, and that lives on my ancestor altar. Well, while we're talking about ancestor altars briefly, my ancestor altar continues to obviously gain ancestorship because I work with older adults. So also sometimes when I attend religious going home services for some of my participants, sometimes I need to add them to my altar.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So let's see how this goes.
Somebody on Twitter just asked me, are you planning to play blackjack? No. But can we do blackjack with tarot? No, we can't.
No,
Not playing blackjack.
No. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I tried doing that on YouTube the other night, and YouTube censored my video. We were doing something like cybersecurity blackjack. It's a weird topic, and the trick was every time I would win a hand, I would have to talk about kind of something in cybersecurity. And we're about an hour into the video, and both of us who were streaming, we decided then just to move to a different network because YouTube was like, you can't do gambling and cybersecurity at the same time. So I've learned my lesson. No blackjack. We're not doing it this morning.
Right.
No. I'm not that drunk.
I'm not that I'm also not that smart, so
just randomly.
That's just my thing. I'm just not that good.
All right, so we have donations currently. 2 hours ago, we have April Ray for 50. 10 hours ago, we have Cosmo. I love him with 100. So yeah, donate right now. Anyone who donates within the first 2 minutes after I say go, we'll get completely, totally. We'll do a card or a couple of cards right now, live.
Yeah.
So donate. Seriously, our cards
are ready. I'll do live readings till 10. I don't mind at all until our donation break.
Seriously, come on, guys, donate if you want to see some serious tarot action flying around this room or our rooms. Let's do this.
I was gonna say, I did that once with my partner. I was shuffling, and the cards decided to 78 card pickup across the room, and he was not happy for that moment. He was just like, what was that? I was like, miscommunication. The card said no.
All right, somebody in the chat post an intent. Okay, so here's what we could do to start the ball rolling, to get the ice broken, right? Any one of you watching this right now, whether you're watching Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are, right? Think of an intention. Now, here's 2 parts to it. All right, so first part, think of an intention. Second part, think of an amount that intention is. And then when you're ready, donate, and me and Bryan will draw a card that might very well, but will match up with that intention. So think of it as as a silent icebreaker. So the very first person to do this, you are going to be on screen right here where it says, where we have the tracker. So again, think of your intention, donate, and we will reply with a card. Let's do this.
While we're waiting for someone to eat the first chip out of the bag, per se, I will just gonna shuffle and then take a sip. Cheers, everyone.
Gotta do the pinky up.
Yeah, no. This weekend especially. Oh, look at that, folks! Justice. That is not a gimmick. All right.
You know how you just pulled that? You know how you just pulled Justice, right? And you know what this weekend represents?
Ooh. That's the same deck that I have from my aunt. That's literally the same one.
So yeah, this matches our friend Mr. Justice quite nicely. See, guys, this is why I said donate. Me and Bryan are very good at what we do, so let's get your donations going. But I'll give you guys a free reading just with this one. Okay, so I normally wouldn't do this, but just to get the ice rolling, just to show you guys what we can do. Here we go. So this is going to be like our intro ice-breaking donate after this, please kind of card. So let's talk about the night. So really, when we talk about discipline, right, we all have discipline. It should come as to a no-brainer. What are you devoted to? I mean, when we look at this idea of devotion and we look at this idea of kind of our roles in life, what this card is telling you is to question what you're devoted to. Are you following the right path? It sounds like, yeah, because you're here watching, right? But a lot of times what we find is that people just need a subtle reminder to stay to what they believe in, which is a really good lesson to learn, is when you have a card like this and you're thinking to yourself, well, where do I stand in life? The key is, what are you devoted to? So if you like this kind of reading, if you kind of want to see what we can do as readers, donate. And it isn't just me wanting money. No, seriously, we need to help support our contingent. So please donate at the link below. I would love to tell you more about the cards, but we need you to donate.
And, I did pull the Justice card. And, I am talking a lot for obvious reasons. I do run a business called Queer Justice Tarot. I love the ability to just pull up my logo like that on the back of my phone. It makes my life so much easier. But yeah, justice, equality, activism, creating spaces for the LGBTQ community. That is my jam. That is literally what the mission of my tarot business is all about. And I don't just read for the LGBTQ plus community. Allies are welcome. I've had lots of allies come to me for readings. Which is amazing. And when I started Queer Justice Tarot, it was literally because I was getting frustrated with having readers who I couldn't vibe with on different levels. I would vibe with them, and then I would feel like I couldn't ask them the questions I wanted to ask because I wanted to ask a question, not 100 questions. Or I didn't want to answer 100 questions. I only wanted to ask one. So, yeah. All right. I just like pulling cards and shuffling, so that's fine. I also shuffle tarot cards when I'm at my day job as a fidget toy. Fidgeting is, not fidgeting, but shuffling is very cathartic for me. Ooh.
I'll tell you what I'll do for the chat watching. If anyone donates a minimum right now of $20, I will do a two-part.
Jared just gave us $10.
Oh, we're close.
You know what that means?
Yep. Pick a card.
Okay. RJ, I'm going to pull cards for Jared, but in order for this to go, I'm going to shuffle and you say stop.
Stop.
All right. Eight of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, and we're gonna pull three cards actually: the Hierophant and the Two of Swords. Now, the interesting thing here is for all three cards, two of them are swords, one major, and both of these cards, the first Eight of Swords, the person is bound and blindfolded, but by the time you get to the end of the reading, the person is blindfolded, but the swords are pictured straight up and crossed. So, you've been working and struggling through some situations that have caused you to have to reconsider some of the actions you have taken, and then you have put that reconsideration with whatever deities you work with to your higher power for assistance. And now your deities and higher power have given that work back to you so that you can take up the challenge and work towards that balance that you've been striving for. So, with that, thank you so much, Jared, for your donation. That means so much. And I also want to say good morning to Kai. Good morning, Kai. Thanks for joining us for coffee this morning. And I will pass the reading baton to Archie.
All right, let's do this. So I'm going to start shuffling. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right. First card.
Ooh, 4 of cups, coins.
4 coins. And we're doing 3 card reading, right? So boom.
Yep. Oh, wow. Is that the hanged one?
Yep.
Can't see upside down.
Exactly.
Good.
It's reversed. And lastly,
the Empress.
Okay, so let's talk about this type of reading. So again, thank you for your donation. We greatly appreciate it. So we talk about things that we take in life can sometimes hold us back when we have, when we're trying to make stuff, when we're trying to make ends meet, there's always going to be restrictions. And part of the thing with the Hanged Man being reversed is that it's coming up. So sometimes when we look at the Hanged Man, right, we have these moments where it is not as restrictive as it sounds. The Hanged Man is at that moment of death. It's at that moment where things are going to change, but because it's reversed, that kind of reverses it. So it means that there's a release from that, right? So you've kind of understood why certain things have to happen. And lastly, with the Empress, it's the Divine Mother. We talk about this idea of femininity and magic, and this idea of kind of getting in touch with our feminine side. Having the Empress appear as your last card is not bad at all. It means that you tap into this side that's very orderly, but at the same time, very, very, very motherly. And so when you think about this type of reading, Jared, that there is restriction in it. There is something that's going to come up that is going to hold you back, that is going to stop you from moving forwards. But at the same time, you're logical enough to have that motherly approach. Now, before everybody yells at me and says, but he's a guy, how can he be I always tell people that when you deal with the feminine side, there's a part of our side which is creative. And when you tap into what the Empress is telling you, she's a Divine Mother. Sometimes being a mother, right, we have to get the bad news. And we have to deal with things which are going to hold us back. And we have to be prepared for those things. Nobody knows you better than your mother does. And that's one of the lessons of the High Empress is she knows you. And once you get a firm understanding that, okay, so if you're going to trust your intuition, that's going to help you out of this situation. So just because you have a reversed card, it doesn't mean you have to sell your home and live somewhere really remotely to escape the bad juju type magic. But there's nothing really bad because the Divine Mother is going to help you weather that storm. It's going to bring this sense of kind of okay, stuff is going to happen. that there's going to be things which are going to hold you back. But you know what, mate? You're going to get through it because you have that divine motherly insight. You have that perception. You have that trait, which is a very cool trait to have. It's one of the traits that we wish more people would have. Trusting their inner intuition and their inner mother side to kind of hold them back and to sort of say, no matter what happens, you're in control. And because you're in control, you can weather any storm. And that's kind of what the hangman does represent, is the oncoming storm. Something is going to stop you from moving forwards. Maybe it has already, and maybe now you're overcoming it. But at the same time, you have that divine motherly approach where it's like, you know what? Nothing bugs me because I'm in control. My intuition is going to help me weather that storm. So overall, Jared, not a bad reading at all. Really not bad. I think there are times when I do tarot for people and they get major arcana like death and the hangman and the tower, isn't to think, oh my gosh, it's bad, but rather what's right about the cards. How do you make the best out of any situation? So just because it's the hangman reverse, don't kind of, I don't know, panic and go into like selling everything and being like, oh my gosh, it's really bad. But instead, think of the positives and think about everything that is going to come up, everything that's held you back, everything that could and will come over the horizon, and use that intuition and see Empress, see through it. So there we go.
Absolutely, Jared. It was an honor. So it is that easy, folks. RG's a little more long-winded than I am, but one of us has to be. I as a person with a very short attention span, keep my readings really short so people can see what sticks. Throw the spaghetti at the wall, see if it stays there, if it's done, kind of thing.
The first person that donates $20, I will do a oracle reading.
Oh. Get it while it's hot, folks. I really would love to see by 10 o'clock us hit that first 1,000 mark. That would be a big dream, a really big goal. I know it's to ask a lot of people, but I want to be the person to see us hit that 1,000 while I'm on the air for the next 45-ish minutes. You know, it's really cool. I grew up watching telethons on the TV. You know, when like networks would do them, and like the Muppets would be on the phone. You could like call like Elmo or Big Bird, or in my case, Bert and Ernie. Who doesn't love Bert and Ernie? But yeah, I think, you know, this is a really cool experience, and to be part of this team has been a real eye opener in terms of like my leadership capabilities and my like work style. So this is really a fantastic experience to be a part of. So, and I'm also an overachiever, so I want to see that $1,000 while I'm on the air, just to say that it happened while I was on the air.
I'll tell you what, the very first people, or the very first 3 people that contribute to that $1,000 mark, and this is going to be a really cool offer, I will do a live seance right here. Well, not right now, but the second we hit 1,000 this morning, so the second that 925 turns into a 1, I will do a live seance for everyone right here, right now, to celebrate. Get your donations in. I will do a completely live seance when we hit $1,000. So get it in, get your donations rolling. I will do a live seance, which I very rarely will do, but I will do a live seance for everyone when we hit 1,000.
All right. I'm just going to pull some cards because I feel like it while we wait, because that's what I do.
Just to give people an idea about live seances, I very rarely will do them. And so if you've never had a seance by me, They are very unique. Who knows what will come through? So here's what we're going to do. The very top 3 people that contribute to $1,000 starting from now will get readings from me in your email box every week until the end of the Parliaments of World's Religions. So here's how it's going to work. The top 3 donators, we will message you offline for your email. When we get your email every single week, you will get a reading from me, including the deck of your choice. When we hit $1,000, I will do a live seance, which is incredibly rare. I usually would not do it on a live stream, simply because I never know what might happen. Just ask Pamela Maxwell Griffith what happens when I do live streams. Many months ago, we did a live stream seance with, I can't remember if it was a witch hat chats, but basically everything went off the rails very quickly. So they are fun. I very rarely will do them live. So take this offer, $1,000. You guys get to see a seance. Who knows what will come through? But until then, we're just going to keep shuffling cards. Bring your donations in. The top 3 people who contribute from this moment to 1,000 will get readings from me in your email box every week until the end of the Parliaments of the World's Religions. So get donating. What are you waiting for? Like, seriously, what are you waiting for?
And there you have it. I'm just really excited because there are people watching us and viewing us, and all right, so the reason I really like the Aquarian tarot is the old worldly art style. It's very it's simplistic, and the color palette is very muted, but I love the I can't draw. People are like, oh, Bryan, you should make a tarot deck. I can't draw to save my life, but I love this one. It looks like 70s art mustache situation on the Magician, which is cool. I've never seen the Magician depicted with a mustache. They all got mustaches. That's really cool. So that's one of the decks I have close by. What else do I have floating around next to me? The Infinite Tarot Roots. Yeah. I unfortunately have not been able to get my hands on the entire Tarot of Hecate Infinite Tarot, unfortunately. But I do have the Ancestors, the Major Arcana only, and the Runes. So that is that's still something in and of itself.
This is my other one.
Ooh, I like that one. That one's very nice.
Yeah, for those who haven't yet experienced the Tarot of Hecate, it is a unique way of doing tarot. There's over 100 cards in there, where Lord Don is already expanding it. So the Tarot of Hecate is designed to go deeper, much deeper than normal tarot. And it comes with a very good explanation. And then the runes and everything, they're add-ons to it. They're different ways of oh, we got 75 from Kai. Awesome. Yes, you do.
Uh-oh.
Let's do it. Oh.
All right. Well, RG, I will go off screen and let you.
So we are going to do I get 3 readings a week? Yes, you do. You most definitely do. So what I want you to do, Kai, is to picture just close your mind and just allow yourself to drift. And what we're going to do is we're going to be doing an oracle reading for you. So whenever I do oracle readings, it really is going into a much deeper kind of part of you, right? That's what oracles like. So with an oracle reading, it's about everything that's coming up, everything that you have been through, everything that could possibly be coming your way. So what I want you to do is to close your eyes and just relax. And when you're ready, what I want you to do is to count just from 3 to 1. Just allow yourself to breathe just normally. So the oracle reading that I'm going to do for you right now is from the Fae deck. And we're going to look at 2 cards, most importantly. And those 2 cards represents the elements of night and day. And as an oracle, what we do sometimes is we look at both sides of one person. Sometimes with people, right? We have to look at both sides, the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, the light and the dark. And so let us begin in that kind of side that you keep hidden. And again, we're doing this as an oracle reading, so it's a lot more enhanced. Boom. All right. So this is the darker side, that part that you hide, the hermit, which is this one. Now, uncompared to tarot, when we look at the hermit, we look at this, the Fae quality that sometimes some of the best teachers out there, some of the best thinkers, some of the best storytellers are not who they claim, are not visibly out there. The hermit takes their time to teach and takes their time to show the true logic and wisdom of things. And a lot of times when we look at Fae magic, it's all about the grand understanding of the big picture. What is that big picture of life? And what the Fae will teach you is very simple. That there is no such thing as divine secrecy, that everything that the hermit knows, they have learned over the course of a lifetime. The things which the hermit brings is this idea of truth, unrequited truth, right? Sometimes when we talk about truth and when we are very honest with each other and very honest with those around us, they can't take it because the truth will hurt people. It's kind of why the hermit of any sort has this kind of negative connotation, because people always picture the hermits living in some kind of weird environment, right? But hermits don't mean to, but they do it because part of what they have to say and part of that message that they bring with them is sometimes very painful for others to hear. And there's a part of your quality that has that. Sometimes the people that you talk to and experience and have known, there's a part to that where people can find you sometimes very openly, I would say very open to the point where you take people by surprise. But at the same time, you speak through logic and learned experience, which is also what the hermit brings. The Fae use the hermit as a way to reinforce some of the greatest lessons that we have yet to learn as humans, right? Temperance, patience, the values of education, the values of community, everything that we should take for granted. And when we look at this from an oracle perspective, we look at this idea of something that exists and will always exist and will master this idea of social and political anxiety, right? The other thing that the hermit brings with it is this idea of when to speak, when to act. A lot of times, especially from an oracle perspective, one of the things which really, really, really winds people up with oracles and really winds them up with Fae magic is it's never instant. Part of being an oracle means that sometimes our message can take months, years, can take a very long time to make manifest. But in the idea of the Fae, that's instant to them. The hermit's message is, in their minds, instant. But to us as mere humans, it's very slow. The hermit also teaches you from an oracle perspective that when you look at a book, you have to look within that book. You have to explore that book. You have to know that book off by heart in order to talk about it. I think a lot of times what happens is people, they learn things, they go through life, they experience things, right? It's all about this idea of growth, and but they don't grow. With the Hermit being your card, being the Knight card, right? Being that part of your personality that's kind of like there, but it's not there because there's a part of you that kind of keeps a lot away from public eye. This can affect the spiritual growth, because we can only grow when we see others grow. We can only see the full book come to life if that book is allowed to show itself properly, and if you allow the lessons of the Hermit to ring to the community. Throughout the whole history of the Fae, mainly some of the greatest examples of Fae power comes from hermits. It comes from people who, for whatever reason, would prefer not to be seen but heard. There's a difference between being heard and there's a difference between being seen. You can be heard, but sometimes never seen. And this is how the Fae have always been. They're always there. And when we talk about spiritual growth, this is this idea that one voice, all it takes is one voice. One voice can grow an entire wood. This is how the Fae have always taught, have always tried to pass the message of the oracle to us, the humans, is all it takes is one voice. That voice may be quiet or it may be loud, but that voice's message creates and plants and sows the seeds for that woods moving forward. I think part of your personality, Kai, is it's there. But sometimes that voice is held back, and other times it's not held back. But again, the Hermit is not a restrictive card. It's a positive card. You have to remember, in oracle readings, it's different from a normal tarot reading from that perspective. But now let's look at your second card, a reinforcing card. Boom. Your second card is the Three of Summer. The Three of Summer. Well, let's talk about it. Awakening. What's coming up in the summer, right? We would be remiss if we thought that the summer is all fun times to the Fae. Actually, it's more spring. But the summer has that burning power of the element of fire. This idea that there is a passion that's lit within us all within the moment of life. Meaning in that moment of life, right? And we wake up every day and we go to work and we do all of this weird and wonderful things and we're trying to live our lives. But there's something better than that. There's something more powerful than that. And that is this idea of what the heck is coming over that bridge? What's coming up tomorrow? The Three of anything brings choices, exponential choices. And how it usually works is there's a new world in summer. Spring, okay. I mean, depending on who you know, when we talk about spring, right, we talk about the world waking up. But it's really in the summer. That's when newness begins, because our eyes are opened to that perception, to that ultimate truth, that now something is new that's coming up. You see things differently. You see things with a better perception. And this is what the oracle is telling you, is now, because you understand that you have this divine motherly aspect of a teacher, but now you can see what the world is going to become. What is going to happen after this telethon? What is going to happen next week? What is going to happen next month? What is going to happen the years after that? It's all about this newness. You have to keep in mind, Fae magic is never instant. So one of the things which really winds people up about the Fae, like I said earlier, people are so used to instant magic that when they start working with the Fae, everything just takes its time. The analogy I love to use with Fae magic and teaching about Fae magic and doing oracle with it is it's a bit like taking a nice, slow, nice kind of row down a gentle stream on the summer's day. You know what that stream is. You can see life and newness and the world changing, but it's that slowness. The Fae is about slow. It's telling you, slow it down and remember what is coming up next, which is the sense of the new world. Like when we talk about the new world, right? We're not talking about a brand new earth. What we're talking about is people waking up. And sometimes some of the greatest voices within the pagan community are finally getting it. What if we all woke up? What if we all took that nice, slow trip down that river? What if we were able to grasp the Three of Summer and to say, well, you know what? There is a sense of newness. That oracle was right, right? That Fae was right. That there is going to be a newness. Could be wealth. I mean, the Fae don't do things for money. I'm just going to be honest, right? Part of my brand is always honesty. When we talk about new wealth, we're not talking about finance. No, because that's irrational. What we're talking about is new wealth of life. And we're talking about new opportunities to grow, to help others, and to encourage others. And that's wealth. Now, sure, you could, as an oracle, easily say, yeah, guess what, Kai, you're going to become rich. But that would be a lie, because that's not what oracles should ever do. We should never give people that kind of message where it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to be rich, because that's wrong. So what I will tell you is that wealth, you already know what it is. You already know what's coming up because you've worked for it, because you have learned it, you have experienced it, and that wealth is this idea of sharing what you know and how you are going to do it, right? The Three of Summer is all about establishing a sense of past, present, and future, and mastering those and being able to share that wealth of knowledge. What happened in the past? Yeah, it stays in the past, but we learn some lessons from it to affect the future, which affects everything. One of the key takeaways of the Three of Summer is everything that you have done up until this point is going to be reflected and seen, right? Okay, so we're not done yet. I know Kai's probably like, oh my gosh, when is this girl going to stop? Well, there's one more card. Actually, no, there's two, but I'm only going to do one more card for you. Actually, no, there is two cards, because I want you to get your money's worth. And because you haven't had an oracle reading from me, we're just going to go all for it, because I want to demonstrate what an oracle reading is, not just for you, but for everyone. Okay. So without further ado, what is next for Kai? What could we possibly bring that would really, really, really enforce this idea of the Three of Summer, right? Well, I don't even know what the cards are, because when I do readings, I just never look at the cards. I just draw them and talk about them. Boom. All right. Let's talk about love, shall we? One of the things that whenever I teach Oracle, whenever I as an Oracle reader have the Lovers card, I always tell people it's not about love. It's not, Kai, you're not about to go have a whopping great big relationship. I'm sorry, but really you're not. It's not that kind of love. We talk about this quite a lot, right? This idea of masculinity and femininity, striking that balance. Everything that you do, moving from this point, is about balance, justice, the scales, right? Right, wrong, night, dark, up, down, left, right. This is what the Lovers is. The Lovers in an oracle read has got nothing to do with you falling madly in love with your respective other half or same half or whatever, right? It's got everything to do with striking that balance, loving yourself. You know, in tarot, we talk about knowing thyself. In oracle, we talk about loving thyself, because unless you do both, you can't live. You can't. Unless you love yourself in the sense that you know that there's a lot of what you think and do and appreciate that could be wrong or right in a certain thing, but you got to love yourself. You got to love all of you got to love your qualities, right? It's very hard for people to do so. Usually what happens in an oracle reading is people get this card and they think, oh my gosh, now I'm going to get married. You know, that gorgeous hunk who lives down the road from me is going to ask me out. No, that's not how the Lovers works. It's about striking and living with that balance. Everything has to stay balanced, right? And we do this as pagans. We really do, because we understand the importance of what happens when we're not in balance, right? So what happens when we're not balanced, right? Well, I don't need to be an oracle to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We get sick, insomnia, stress. You know, a lot of times when we get sick and we don't even know why we're sick, it's because we're not balanced. And this is where the Lovers card will make itself appearance, because you've got to love both sides of who you are. So who are you? Okay, so this is one of the mysteries of Fae magic. Who are you? Well, you're not exactly Fae, but you are, but you're not, but you are. But the key to the Lovers card is loving both the Fae side of you, the magic side, and the Stoic side. Striking that anvil straight down the middle and saying, you know what, Kai? You know what, Kai? And, you know, you know what, Kai? You're not a bad person, but you gotta love yourself. And by loving yourself, you appreciate both sides. That stoic side, right? Where you want to go in and beat somebody up. But at the same time, it's this sense of now that you understand how balance works, this is how you move forwards. This is how you enforce the Three of Spring, how you enforce the Hermit. Every single Fey hermit, every single Fey teacher, every single teacher in the world, every single human should live in balance. That, balance is taught in everything, right? Two sides to one coin, right? Two sides to a simple pendant, two sides to a basic wand. Everything has two sides for a reason, because you've got to learn balance. And unless you do, this card, the Lover's card, is going to keep on coming up, and it's going to keep on saying, look, the lesson here isn't about you falling madly in love with the gorgeous hunk who lives down your block, right? It's about you appreciating your name, where you've come from, your lineage, at the same time appreciating everything dark to you. So this is idea that once we engage and embrace the shadow side, and of course the physical, the light side, that is love. That is the Lover's card right there. It has nothing to do with romance and dating and whatever situation. It's got everything to do with saying, hey, look, shadow self, you're sometimes bad, you're sometimes really annoying me, but at the same time, I still love you, but I still need you. Hey, shadow self, come over here. What do you think of this situation? Hey, light self, come over here. What do you think of this situation? And Bryan talks about this. Bryan talks about this with justice. He really does. Well, he when we talk about justice, is we take balance, and it's like, okay, so which side? You this side or this side? Well, neither really, because you're in the middle, because you are the aspect of the Lovers. Being the aspect of the Lovers is about justice, and more importantly, it's about being the Hermit. The Hermit never yells at people, never goes like, oh my gosh, can't teach you. But the Hermit will find both sides. So there we have it for your oracle reading. Again, the things with oracles is everybody hates us, but at the same time, everybody loves us, because we're blatantly honest. All right, so there we have it for your reading.
That was awesome. Thank you, RG, and thank you, Kai, for getting us over that first $1,000 threshold. 1 down, 9 to go. Good morning to Brenda and to General Jason. Thank you so much for joining us for coffee time with me. This is my refill. Cheers, everybody. So yeah, 2 cups of coffee down. Many more to go. And we will be here before the next break until probably 9:55. So if you would like to donate while I am still here, I will be slinging some cards for a little bit. But I'm really excited. I will be here also tomorrow morning, same time, same bad channel, same bald and bearded, beautiful hostess that I am. From 8 to 10 Eastern time. That's 7 a.m. Central time, and then it goes backwards from there because Bryan don't maths. But yeah, just go backwards. Or in the Philippines, it's 8 o'clock at night, so that's great. I will be following up another live from the Philippines show, so you have them, and then you have me. And it means a lot for you to donate. It means a lot to have your support, both in viewership and in dollars. Obviously, dollars is what will help us the most at Parliament, but having your viewership this weekend also means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. So, thank you so much.
Yes, Kai, you do. I'll reach out to you on Facebook. I'll reach out to you, make sure that you give me your email, and I will give you readings every single week until after the Parliament is done. So I will reach out to you on Facebook shortly. In fact, I'm going to do it right now.
That is a really amazing offering, RG, and I appreciate it so much for you doing that for us last minute to help us get over that first $1,000 hump. And it looked like we've had some great traction. I know when I left my post last night, we were a little under $800. So just, get to 1,000 this morning. It's amazing and it means a lot. And yeah. What is the link for the auction? That's a great question, Brenda. And here it is. Divination Alley and the auction can be found at givebutter.com/C/Correllians live/auction. And you can also, not only the auction, but the readers are in there. Some readings from our first priest regent, Phoenix Coffin Williams, are in there. And some really great items. I would know. I am also the keeper of the auction, along with the house mother. I've been helping Julie load the items, price the items. I got some great tips from Sir Mike Neal on how to do the auction because he is he runs the auction for the church, so he helped me get situated and figure out how to do all of those things. So it has been a great learning experience. And for those who are, we got $50 more from Mary this morning. Thank you so much, Mary. I will be happy to pull some cards for you right now. Apparently cards are also falling on the floor. Thank you, Spirit, for that. I am choosing to put that back in and shuffle because I don't like to read jumpers. I find that rude. If I have to bend for them, that is just me. Everybody's different.
I just had somebody on Twitter go, is that a vape? No, it's a wand. So this is my personal wand, which is right here. No, I don't do vaping. So if it looks like a vape, it's really not. It's actually a wand.
So I pulled the Four of Pentacles. This is probably one of my favorite cards. The Pentacle suit, obviously, material gain, money, but I see it as resources and physical resources. And obviously with the Aquarian Tarot, the ability to balance multiple priorities in the physical realm on and of itself, and juggling both your priorities, your hobbies, your goals. And Mary, you're doing really well at that. I really see that you've been taking a lot of time for self-care as well. So the Nine of Swords, to me, I don't ever read cards as negative. All cards are positive and negative. All cards have a balance of energy. But you really have been focusing on yourself and your self-care and your needs, which has brought you abundance and celebration with friends, family, lovers, whoever you hold close in your circle of friends. So, Mary, for you, I see a lot of great work that you've been doing either this year or in this season of your life, depending on how you move around in your circle. I always work, in the very Gregorian calendar year. But being the complex person that I am, I also incorporate that into my birth year. So yeah. You can pull some cards for her, Mary, for her RG.
Mary, okay, I could actually go with that name. Just kidding. Actually, do I look like a Mary? Don't know. All right. So, Mary, you have a choice. We could do a one-card oracle or a standard tarot. Which would you like? Trying to see if I can see her on chat. She's right here.
I think she just donated, so it's okay. You can just do the thing.
Okay, Mary. So you have the Fool, which is not a bad card at all. The Fool, I always like to talk about the Fool as a return to factory settings because it is. Especially like when we draw the Fool in any environment, it's a bit like when I was kids, we used to play Monopoly, and part the cool thing about Monopoly is after you get out of jail and everything starts afresh again because you've really messed up and now you've restarted. It's a bit like the Fool, right? So with this card, and I'll try to keep it short and sweet like me, but this card is all about just restarting. You are going to experience something new that may or may not be new to you, but you're going to experience it as if it was for the first time. Factory settings, right? Starting a new trip, starting anything that's new. And a lot of times when we start something new, it can be scary because it's like, oh my gosh, this is new. This is not what I'm used to. But you have to do this part of life. Part of the lesson of the Fool is we don't know anything. Me and Bryan, in theory, both of us together, we don't know anything. Whenever I teach tarot to people, one of the basic lessons is I always tell people you're the Fool right the way until the moment of death. Why? Because you don't know anything. Because we learn from our experiences. I learn from Bryan whenever I talk to him. I'm learning from him. He's learning from me. We're learning together. And when you get this card, it is just reinforcing that everything that we do in life is through a sense of naivety because we learn through that shared experience and through the experiences of doing stuff. Even getting dressed in the morning is a part of it, right? It's a part of going out, having that ability to just go out and face the world and to face the naivety that the world will throw at you. You have to get over this hump of of naivety and the word fool being all negative and derogatory because it's not. It's factory settings. Every day's different. Every day's new. Each night a part of us dies, we're reborn again. Day starts, right? It's a bit like the Russian doll TV series or anytime you watch time repeating. Same thing. So when you get this card, don't be like, oh my gosh, she just called me a fool, because I did, because we're all fools, and therefore we're in the same ship together. Almost said a swear word there. Almost. We're in the same ship together because we are. I learn from you, you learn from me, I learn from Bryan, he learns from me, she learns from me. We all learn together. So yeah, it's a good card.
Thanks so much for that, RG. So next up, you will be seeing at 10 o'clock The Mighty Dead, a conversation with Most Reverend Phoenix Coffin Williams and Christopher Panzak. It has been really a great honor to share virtual space with you this morning, RG, and hopefully she will join me tomorrow for another card slinging, coffee drinking ramble, if you will, for 2 hours.
Oh, it's a date.
You know, what's better than two trans folk reading cards at 8 o'clock in the morning?
And I'll tell you what we'll do tomorrow, because we didn't get around to it today. Tomorrow when we start at 7 o'clock my time, which is really early his time, but tomorrow we will do the seance. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? For everyone watching this right here, right? I used to work with a chef that had the most amazing Spanish accent. And so he would reinforce words like, right now. That's literally what his voice was like. But for all of you awesome people, I tell you what, if today we get, if by the end of the next hour we're up at 1200, we will start tomorrow with the seance that we should have done today. And that'll be the first thing that we do over coffee. So you guys have got homework. Push that donation over 1200. Kai, the awesome Kai, Lady Kai, has just gotten herself free readings from me right the way until after the Parliaments. I'm likely to come up with even more cool offers. So donate. You can donate here at Correllians.live/donate. You can check out the auction. Lots of ways to get involved. I want to see that over 1200 so we can do a seance, so I can get the spirits rowdy. It's always fun and games when the spirits get rowdy on camera. I'm just saying. Join us up next. We have the Right Reverend Phoenix fun times with him. Get donating. Enjoy Phoenix. He is amazing to talk to. He is an inspiration for many, many people. If you've never heard him speak before, if you've never been with him, he is amazing. He really is.
Thank you so much, everyone. It means a lot to me that you were here. Thank you so much, RG. And oh my God, we're gonna bring her on super quick to say hi. It's my temple head at my sister, the Right Reverend Calypso. Hi.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to come and say hello. I know you guys are ending, but I didn't want to miss this. I love you all, and I'm so proud of all the work that you guys are doing. Blessed be both of you. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna play the donation video. You're gonna smash that donate button, as Cloud the Pagan Rapper would say. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow at this time, 8 to 10. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And blessings, and blessed be everyone.
You're watching the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon. The team here would like to thank you for all of your support in assisting us in bringing a contingent of paladins to the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago, Illinois, August of this year. We are trying to raise $10,000 to assist with the basic needs of housing, food, and travel expenses. Here are some words from the members of the event team on why it is important that we reach that goal.
At the Parliament of World Religions in 2023, I'm personally looking forward to broad exposure and deep engagement with various wisdom traditions from around the world, particularly as regards pressing issues from today and future goals for our human journey. I expect that I'll be able to incorporate much of the learning back into my own personal path, as well as share tangible insights back into the metaphysical and spiritual community that I work within.
I'm Sir Bryan, John Ellicott, member of the Sacred Order of Paladins, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk to you about the Road to Parliament 2023 Correllians Live Telethon. 50 hours of magic and community. We are here to ask for your help as we send a contingent to Parliament of World Religions in Chicago, Illinois, this August in 2023. We're going to give voice to you, to our community, during these next 50 plus hours to help raise our goal of $10,000 so that we can supply housing and food for the Correllian nativist tradition members who are going to Parliament this year. And we humbly ask that you continue to donate and bid on our auction, get tarot readings and other divinational readings from our readers over in Divination Alley. And I again want to thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you about the Paladins and why our telethon participation, your telethon participation is vitally important to our participation in Parliament in Chicago this August. Our attendance is vitally important. Now more than ever, we see the need for our freedoms and human rights to be defended and preserved. And as pagans, we deserve a seat at the table for those conversations. And the best way you can do to help us is to donate, bid on auction items, and get divination readings. I am offering readings this weekend over in Divination Alley. The link is below. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Right Reverend Sir Elizabeth, Program Director of the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon. Thank you so much for tuning in to our weekend-long event as we raise $10,000 to bring a contingent of paladins to the Parliament of the World's Religions coming up in August. We need to house and feed about 20 of us over in Chicago for 7 days. And to do that, we're going to need at least 10 grand. So here's our ask. Go to Correllians.live/donate and make us a monetary donation to our cause. Every dollar helps. We also have psychic readers and an auction you can participate in too. If you can't make a monetary donation, then do us another very big favor and share the event with your friends over social media. You can find us on the Pagan World TV app on Roku, Correllians Live and Magic TV via YouTube, and Correllians.live via any web browser. Thank you so much for your help and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and I am a member of the Sacred Order of the Paladins. Why are we going to the 2023 Parliament of World's Religions? Because representation matters. It's important that pagans be there to show that we are a growing tradition, that we are a viable religion, and we need to take our seat among other world religions.
From all of us here at the 2023 Correllians Live Telethon, we want to thank you again for your support. Please be sure to check out Divination Alley and get yourself a reading. Or check out our online auction that is overflowing with wonderful craft items, books, and services for sale. Remember, our goal is to raise $10,000, so please help us spread the word about the event, our cause, and be sure to stay tuned for more. So thank you all again, and may you all blessed be. Enjoy the telethon.